Hi, I'm Alice, and you're watching Alice Cooks Indian. Today I'm going to be making Vada Pav. I'm diverging away from North Indian cuisine for the first time with this super popular street food snack from Mumbai. I've never been to Mumbai, but it's an extremely fast-paced city, and people grab a Vada Pav on the go as they commute on the local trains. So I'm really excited to do this one. Let's begin the recipe. So this dish consists of several components. There's the vada, which is a potato dumpling encased in a batter and deep fried. There's a dry chutney, and then there's the pav, which encases all of it together. I'll be taking you through the ingredients for each component as we go through, but let's start with the batter. So for the batter, I'm using 1 bowl of ground flour. I'm just going to sieve it to make sure that there's no lumps so that we can have a super smooth consistency. So this is very similar to the bread pakora batter that we made. I'm now going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, and 1 flat teaspoon of turmeric. Just give it a bit of a mix, and then start adding water bit by bit until you get the required consistency. Now we don't want our batter to be too thick or too runny either. I'll show you the exact consistency that we require as we get there. So we got there, a super smooth batter which is just dropping from the whisk. But do note that this is slightly thicker than the bread pakora batter. So that's the first part completed. We're going to let our batter rest while we make our second component, which is the potato mixture for our dumplings. So for my potato mixture, I've got about 4 potatoes, which I've pre-boiled and mashed. Then I've got 1 small onion, about a teaspoon of ginger, and 1 chilli. Here I've got some coriander, and something I don't get to use that often is my curry leaves. That's because they're not used that widely in North Indian cuisine. Now they're really important to this recipe, and they're going to give it a really special aroma. So I've got my oil heated up in a pan, and I'm going to start by adding a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Lovely. These just sizzle slightly. And I'm going to follow that straight away with my curry leaves. Just let that splutter slightly. And then I'm going to add my chili and ginger. Lovely. Just let that sizzle for 15 seconds. And then in goes the onion. Lovely. Now I'm not going to brown these. I'm just going to let them saute for about 2 or 3 minutes until I add my potatoes. So my onions have been going for a couple of minutes, and now I'm going to add some spices. Half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. Now I'll just give this a minute before adding the potato. I can already smell this beautiful aroma from the curry leaves coming through. So it's time to add the potato. Lovely, just drop that in. And just mash it with the spatula and make sure that everything is well combined. Mashing in this way ensures that it's going to be nice and easy to make your dumplings at the end. Now I'm just going to add salt to taste. I'm adding 1 teaspoon. And also we're going to add our fresh coriander. Again, just make sure that it's nice and combined and fully mashed. So our potatoes were already cooked, so really it was just a matter of adding the spices and making sure everything was well combined. So this process has taken about 5 minutes. I'm now going to put it in my bowl. Lovely. Curry leaves give an amazing aroma, but for me personally, I don't find them that pleasing to bite into. So I'm going to take all of the curry leaves out at this stage. This is a personal choice. You can leave them in if you'd like to. Then I'll just be letting the mixture cool down before we make our dumplings. So the next component of this recipe is the dry chutney. For this, I've got about a 1/4 cup of peanuts, 6 to 8 garlic cloves, and a cup of grated coconut. Now I'm going to start by adding my garlic to the hot oil. And I'm just going to saute this until the garlic starts changing colour. So you can see the garlics have started changing colour, and I'm going to add my peanuts. Again, I'm just going to saute the peanuts for a couple of minutes until they start roasting. So my garlic and peanuts look nicely roasted, and at this stage I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of red chili powder. Now you might think this sounds like quite a lot, but I'm using Kashmiri red chili powder, which is a lot less hot than your regular chili powder. It's going to give this lovely red colour. Great, so at this stage we're ready to add the coconut. Make sure that your flame is on the very lowest. Wonderful. Give it a good mix, and then we're also going to add a teaspoon of salt at this stage. So I'm just going to cook the coconut for a couple of minutes, and I'm making sure that I stir regularly and make sure that this is on a very low heat. So I'm going to take this out on a plate just to make sure that it cools down, and then we'll be coarsely blending this. So I've coarsely blended the chutney, and I've just taken it out into a bowl. I'm really happy with how it's looking. And now we can go back to making our dumplings. So now we're going to finalise the vadas. I've got my batter that we made earlier, and with the potato mixture, I'm just going to form balls and put them on my plate ready while the oil is heating up. So all of my vada balls are ready to fry. I'm just going to take one, place it into the batter, make sure that it's well covered. Then I'm just going to tip it upside down to stop the dripping and place it very carefully into the hot oil. I've got my tissue ready because you do get your hands a bit messy at this stage. So just let them fry. They're going to get nice and crispy on the outside, and then we've got this beautifully soft mash on the inside. It's a really lovely combination. And I'm just making sure that it's going to be nicely fried from all sides. So I've just turned one over. Lovely. Just giving them a turn again to make sure that they're evenly cooking. Great, so I'm happy with my vadas. I'm just going to take them out onto a kitchen paper and then fry the rest in the same way. Now you might notice you've got some extra bits of batter in your oil. These crispy bits are actually magic to your Vada Pav. We're going to fry some batter on purpose, and we're going to use this as a filling when we assemble our Vada Pav. It's going to give that extra crunch. So we're heading towards the end of our recipe. We've got all of the components that we need, and now it's just about assembling our Vada Pavs. Now I recommend using rolls rather than your perfect circular burger buns, just because it gives that extra rugged look and that extra street food look. I'm going to toast mine, that's a personal preference. Let's do that now. So I'm going to cut open my rolls, but don't cut them all the way because we'll be closing them afterwards. So I'm just going to apply some butter. Lovely. And then lightly toast my buns from both sides. So now let's assemble our Vada Pav. I'm going to start with the green chutney. This is a mint and coriander chutney. You can go and check out the recipe that I've already made on how to make this. Then I'm going to add the dry chutney that we made earlier. I'm also adding samosa chutney. This is optional. And then of course, we need to add the pav. These crispy bits are going to give it great texture. Amazing. Don't worry if it falls off. This is a really just messy, quick street food snack. And a chili on the top. So there you have it, Vada Pav. I'm really proud of these. They look so tempting. We can't all go to Mumbai, but at least we can bring a bit of Mumbai into our kitchens. Give this a go and let me know how it goes for you in the comments. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more authentic Indian recipes. See you next time. Bye bye.